how did I get from playing soccer to practicing yoga, and why breakdancing was one of the most important tools on my journey, even though I had knee surgery twice because of breakdancing. Welcome to another video. I'm Theo and this is all about my mindset. Today I'm going to talk about my journey of 24 years of movement. A lot of people know that I've been into a variety of sports, and today I would like to present to you how I started and where I ended up now. So without further ado, let's get started. So with the age of 4, I started to play soccer. Some people know it, some don't. So from 4 to 21, I played soccer for 17 years, which was a good start because I was pretty dynamic. I had good legs, strong legs. I was fast, I had good condition, but I was really stiff. So the change happened when I was 14, yes? So I was 10 years into soccer when I started to realize that there is more than just running behind the ball. And what I did is I found out that parkour is quite cool. So with the age of 14, we created a group called Parkour Minden. Minden is the city where I live. So a bunch of people, we were like 5 to 10 guys, came together and we started to teach ourselves parkour. And I did this for like 3 years. So when I turned 17, parkour wasn't that interesting to me anymore, but it was still a good thing to do because, as I said, I had strong legs from soccer and I was dynamic. So running up walls, jumping from obstacle to obstacle was like a fun thing and easy for me to do because I had this background of soccer. After that, I started to do tricking because when you do parkour, you think about running up a wall, doing a wall flip, doing a variety of cool tricks, and this is what actually got my attention. So what I wanted to do is do more flips. And then I found out that tricking is actually exactly what I'm looking for. You just stay on one place and you do as many cool tricks as you can. So I did this when I was 16 to 20, I guess, like about 4 years. And this was the first time when I entered the gym that I'm still using nowadays, so 10 years later. And at this gym, there were like a lot of gymnastics people and a few trickers, and I just joined them. I was like a shy teenage boy who just wanted to do some backflips, and this is where I learned like most of the flips and tricks that I do nowadays, like backflips, corks, moon kicks, B-twists, and all the fancy stuff where you just jump from your foot, rotate in the air, and land on one foot again. So in those 4 years, a lot of new things entered my world of movement. So I got into capoeira somehow. I didn't really practice capoeira like deeply, but there was one guy, now he lives in Turkey. He's called Cem. And I found out that Cem is doing capoeira when I met him at Breakdance. So capoeira was something new to me. Like, it was the first time that I was thinking more about rhythm and flow instead of just pumping out crazy tricks. So it didn't got a lot of my attention, but it was there somewhere, okay? So this was when I turned 18, and it was for about a year. And then came breakdancing. And breakdancing, as I said before, was one of the most important tools on my journey of becoming like a movement guy. So I went to this room. It's called it's just a room for people who would like to get creative. Okay, so it's in a different city. It's called Bad Oeynhausen, and I just entered the group of the Last Action Heroes. So make sure you check them out on YouTube. Those are cool guys who do really amazing breakdancing tricks. And I've been there like twice a week for, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years. And I learned all the basics of breakdancing, like windmills, baby mills, flare, swipe, hand top, and the normal steps, like everything that is into breakdancing. And in this time, I messed up my knee twice. So my meniscus got fixed with surgery twice, and now it's already broken again. But this time they can't fix it, so they would have to take it out of my knee, and I don't want to do this, so I'm running around with a actually broken leg. So breakdancing really sacrificed my health. But I would like to point out this quote by Eric Thomas, who said, "You need to sacrifice what you are for what you will become." And even though breakdancing really had an impact on my health, and it's still something that I think about nowadays, like what would happen if this would have happened, okay? But here's the thing, for what you will become. And breakdancing really opened my eyes that I need to understand that I need to be balanced, that I need to be flexible, that I should stretch. Because until breakdancing, all the things that I did were just dynamics, were explosive, were strong, were coordinative, but there was nothing calm inside, or nothing balanced and flexible and smooth. So when I recognized that I have the power for breakdancing, but there's actually no range of motion of my limbs and my legs and shoulders and hips, so I started to stretch. And this took really a long time. So as you can see, in 6 years of breakdancing, I managed to get that flexible to perform all those cool moves. Okay, so flexibility is really a thing that you need to work on daily for a couple of years. It's nothing that just falls from heaven and then you have it. You need to work for it. Yeah, so from breakdancing, I figured out that I really enjoyed those smooth movements, okay? I became more flexible, I became more controlled, everything looked easy, and I wanted to really dive deeper in this type of movement. So I looked for flow moves. And in this time, I was really into this THEO portal thing, where you just practice movement itself and there's no real definition for it. You're not a sportsman, you're not like a philosopher, you are just someone who is into movement and you just move in any way. And in this time I did a lot of ring work, like pulling work and balancing work and all those crawls and so many different things that I still do, and I still see some benefits in it, but it's not that this is like exactly what I want to do. And I will end up my presentation with what I do now, so we're going to get back to this one later. So I did all of those flow moves, which are quite comparable with capoeira. You do those front wheels and helicoptero, and you just flow and roll and do all those cool looking moves that seems to be so easy, but actually they are super hard. On a scale, like if I compare them to all the things I did before, of course, like a double cork is amazing and crazy hard to learn. Same counts for some breakdancing moves like airflare or whatever. But those flow moves are really, really hard because you need to make them perfect to make them look easy. So this was something that I really practiced from 22 to age 27. And yeah, at the same time, maybe a little later, I entered the world of hand balancing because of breakdancing and of the fact that I'm doing a lot of flow moves. I need to spend time on my hands to feel confident on my hands to perform all those cool moves. So hand balancing as itself became more important to me. I'm not a good hand balancer yet, but I still work on hand balancing every now and then. Like for 2 years now, I would say, I'm working on my one-armed handstand, and this became like a bigger priority of my practice nowadays. Yes, and now we're finally here at the age of 25. I would say, like 2 years ago, I started doing yoga seriously. Before it was just like stretching, so when I started breakdancing, I kind of already did yoga, but not with the aspect and with the thoughts of yoga. So it was just like stretch your limbs, be able to do all those cool moves, okay? So the reason for stretching was to do a cool move. And nowadays I do a lot of yoga because like the term of yoga is so wide. Everyone has a different definition for yoga, but what I feel is yoga really helps me to be like healthy and be calm and be strong at the same time until I get 60 or 70. So all those things that I did before, like if you look at soccer I quit with 21. Like most professional soccer players quit at, let's say, 35, 37, and then you're like completely messed up. It's over, okay? Same counts for like parkour, tricking. Like there are so many people who just messed up their body because of all those hard moves over the years. And like it's a pretty modern sport, so I don't know any 60 or 70-year-old person who did parkour or tricking for a couple of years and now they are like older and they can tell you what happened to their bones. But like for myself, I recognize that all those hard moves, they look pretty cool, and it's really cool to do them when you're young and you have fire for it and you want to learn them. But at some point you need to like get rid of them because they will destroy your health over time, okay? So same counts for breakdancing. It's super easy to do a head spin. There's not much to do about it, or like a baby mill or backspin. But those hard moves like flare, like hand hopping every day on one shoulder is super hard and will really mess up your structure of your body. So what I found out is that yoga will be something that will be like my fountain of health and joy for like the next 30 to 40 years. So this is really something that I would like to focus on, and that's why I'm going to do a yoga teacher training for 400 hours in November and become a yoga teacher. So I don't want to say I get rid of all those. So now we're here, okay? At the spot now. What am I doing now? And now I feel like I don't want to describe what I'm doing. I don't want to call myself an athlete or like a mover or a breakdancer or a juggler or whatever. I just want to call myself someone who exercises, who is just interested in moving around and doing what he thinks is enjoyable and will make me feel happy. So there will be a lot of yoga inside, but there will also be calisthenics. There will also be some breakdancing moves, and I still want to learn this one-armed handstand. But I think it's a really stupid idea to categorize and to think, okay, this is it and I'm going to do this. Because as Heraclitus said, the only consistent is change. Okay, so the only constant is change. That's the original quote. I say the only consistency is change. I don't know, like all the same. But the message is so cool because there's nothing in this entire world that will stay forever. The only thing that is granted forever is that it's going to change. So as you can see, there was nearly no thing that was like that got my attention 100% at the same time. So okay, there was soccer, but at the time where I became a teenager at 14, I figured out I have like an own opinion. I just played soccer because my parents told me go to soccer and look if this is fun. But then with 14, I figured out that parkour is cool. But at the same time, in those 3 years of parkour, I found out tricking is cool. Within the years of tricking, I got into capoeira and breakdancing. And in breakdancing, I found out flow moves, hand balancing, and yoga. So everything is linked together, and I want you to be open-minded to try new things and to accept it, that change is happening. Whether it's your hobby, your movement practice, your relationship, your job, or whatever, like don't stick too much to what it is right now. Just be open for a change and accept it. It will bring something else. Okay, so as we just said, sacrifice what you are for what you will become. I had to sacrifice my knee and like mess up all those hard moves in the past to understand what will be in the future. Okay, so this is the message so far, and I would like to end this video with two more quotes or phrases. So the first one is a question that I would like to ask you, and this one is: have you ever failed at something that you have been doing for over 10 years? Okay, and I feel like there is no chance that you suck at something if you practice it for over 10 years. Like I was good at soccer. Like I wasn't a professional, but I was really good. I earned money with soccer. Okay, so okay, I didn't do parkour so long, but if you look at all those, I started with, let's say 14, now I'm 27. It's 13 years of movement, and you just can't be miserable or bad or fail if you practice something for over 10 years. I feel like the same counts for finances. If you look at your money for 10 years and you try to save some money, you will succeed at some point. It's the same with, I don't know, like losing weight or learning a language. If you start learning Chinese right now and you stick to it for 10 years, you will be fluent. Like there's no chance to not be successful at something if you practice it for over 10 years? So this is one question. Maybe you can leave a comment and tell me what you think about this. Have you experienced something else, like you practiced something for 15 years and you're still not able to do it? Just write it down in the comments or tell me if you agree with my opinion. And the last sentence is, I wish I wouldn't have invested so much time and effort in my practice. This is a phrase that no one ever said. So the only thing that we are sad about are the things that we don't try or don't do. So I've never heard someone who said, oh yeah, I wish I haven't invested so much time in my health in the past, because now just like I'm a healthy guy and I can do whatever I want. So it would have really been better like eating junk foods and going party every day and drinking alcohol. So the thing is, there is no point not to put effort and time into things that will make you happy or that will have a meaning to you or that do have a meaning to you right now, because it's never too late to start something. Like as you can see, I just started yoga with 25. Or I taught myself Russian with the age of, I guess I was 23 or something. It was the second time when I had knee surgery. I taught myself Russian because I needed something to fill this gap of not being able to move. And most people say like, you're too old, like only child can learn the language, it's too hard, it's like a different alphabet. Or yeah, you know, I'm not made for yoga because I'm not flexible. That's the wrong thinking of it, the wrong mindset. Because you get flexible through yoga. You learn the language like Russian because you practice it, not because you're a child. So the two messages, or like multiple messages that I would like to point out in this video, is sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Be ready that there will be some failures and something that you will lose, but there will be something else entirely that will make you happy. The only consistent is change. Be ready to change. Invest time for over 10 years and you will be successful. It's never too late to start something. And yeah, that's basically it. So if you think this was interesting and inspiring to you and you would like to work more on your mindset and would like to see more of my channel and my videos, hit the subscribe button and see you next time.